In-game live game day continues. I am Gabriel Morency. Some excitement in the air. The NFL playoffs are here. It's been a rough couple of weeks in the NFL. It was a brutal Sunday today. You know, the bowl, it was all week, actually. We've had like bowl games where everybody's out, NFL games where everybody's out. You know, next week we strap it up for real once again. Thursday and Friday, college football playoffs. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, NFL playoffs. So we got 5 straight days of great football, big-time, must-win action. And the Vikings got the stop now. So, you know, they needed that. They were losing the momentum a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs popped the big one for the touchdown. And then they got the stop. They sacked Arnold. They forced a punt from the Vikings end zone. It was a great punt. And then the Viking defense steps up and gets them the football back. So the point spread is currently 3.5, total 50.5 right now. Dave Delano, hitthepick.com, Get Sports Strong in the house with us. And we're looking at the wild card rounds. Harbaugh, I was kind of hoping in a way that it would have worked out that we had Harbaugh and Harbaugh again, Chargers and Baltimore. But the way that the bracket set up, the Chargers get the Houston Texans, and it's really amazing. People have just sort of, from all the hype at the beginning of the year with C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans to where we're at now, Dave, are polar opposites. Nobody wants to touch the Texans, so much so the Chargers are 3-point road favorites.
Yeah, I get it though. I mean, it's tempting to take the Texans being a home dog like this, but initial reaction, I can't really disagree with that. I don't have too much faith in the Houston Texans either. I think that the Chargers would be the play for me. I just kind of wonder, if that'll go down. I think that we might see some love for the Texans just as a team that's been there last year. Yeah, because the Texans, at least they were in the playoffs last year, and they won a playoff game last year. And even with all Harbaugh's success and experience, his first year with the Chargers, all that to say, if this does go down to more of a 2.5 type situation, I'd like the Chargers even more. There's so many odds that this could fall on exactly 3, but I like the Chargers in that one. And I know it's not a lot of fun to bet on the unders, especially you can see turnovers. But I think that we can see a low-scoring game in this one. I mean, the thing is we got, the kickers can really knock them in from long ways. You got perfect conditions, but
Harbaugh doesn't play for track meets, Dave, bro. Like, Harbaugh's Harbaugh's going to be like, let's eat up 10 minutes a drive if we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Texans offense right now. So I think that we could be looking at an under there. Like I said, 44 is not a number you feel great about, but especially indoors. But I expect a low-scoring game in that one. And we were talking about before, I'm really looking forward to that Washington and Tampa Bay game. Tampa Bay is a team I was been a little high on late in the season, but I know it's just one game. You don't want to overreact. I didn't like what I saw from them too much today in a situation against the Saints just a train wreck at the end of the season, and they played around a little bit. Washington's a dangerous team. I like Baker Mayfield, but that Tampa Bay defense definitely has some question marks and worries me. I don't think they're going to be able to stop Washington in that one. That could be interesting. There's not going to be a lot of room for error in that one. But like you mentioned, you think the dog's live. I agree with you in that one. The Commanders could be an intriguing underdog play.
Yeah, and I think either team could be dangerous, too, moving forward. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going deep into the end zone. We were hoping for we were talking about Addison getting the first touchdown, and Addison over 24.5 long reception. I got a prop at Jordan Addison over 24.5. They just tried. They just went deep to Addison on into the end zone from like the 40, from where about the 35-yard line. Yeah, he wasn't really open, so not much Darnold could have more. Darnold was nice coverage by Terrion Arnold, the rookie, on the play. So, man, I'm fired up for these games, and let's just get people up to date here with this situation. It's 51.5 right now, and is this to Jefferson? I've been talking about this, Dave, and I agree with you as far as Tampa, but we've been waiting for a Jefferson sighting, and there it is. Nice play. You notice, though, guys, and I know everyone's seen this game at a different time, but Sam Darnold's just off tonight. And if there's one thing that, he's been pretty good at this year, Dave, is he's been pretty accurate, or at least, like, giving them a chance. Like, he throws these fastballs, but he normally throws these tight spirals. And, you know, when he gets into a zone, he's almost like a pitcher, and he gets into this rhythm. He's been off so far, and even on this play, nice pass, but, you know, maybe Jefferson made it look a little harder than it had to be. But I think Darnold is starting to settle down a little bit now, guys. You see the ball is just sort of a little bit less taken off on him. Now we'll see if they can punch it in and finish it off on the second and goal. But that Pittsburgh game in Baltimore, Pittsburgh have really struggled. The offense is going backwards. I know they played themselves back into it last night against the Bengals. So I sort of get the point spread. That's the game to me that, I don't know, Baltimore, it could get away from Pittsburgh. But I also understand the logic of this is a playoff game. Tomlin can shorten the game, even if they don't have a ton of success on the ground. But the thing is, Baltimore have a great run defense, so that's going to be tough for them. Baltimore haven't been great in the playoffs, right? You know, teams have been able to, slow Lamar down and make him throw the football and stuff. I think not having Zay Flowers would be big if he's not there. But you think that Buffalo and Denver could be the game that could turn into a blowout. I have my concerns about the Pittsburgh Steelers keeping up. If Baltimore show up, they could be in trouble in this game.
Yeah, for me, I just look at more of those matchups. I know that this is the playoffs. I think that Pittsburgh is something like 8-2 against the spread in the last 10 against Baltimore as a dog, and they usually win most of those matchups. I mean, I know that the last time they played, Baltimore got the best of them. Pittsburgh got the best of them the first time. But that just feels like a lot of points. I think that even if the Ravens pull it out, I think that, which they should, I think that it's going to probably be within 6 points. And yes, I do think, looking at this from first glance, if there is a blowout, I can see it being your Buffalo Bills against the Denver Broncos. I don't have a lot of confidence with how the Broncos ended the season. It's hard to isolate certain games, but even thinking about that Monday Night Football game against my Browns where they got torched, I think Josh Allen and the Buffalo offense really torched this team.
Sorry, I got to jump in here. We have our first sort of big moment of the game. I don't like these play calls. They keep on running these fade patterns to the back of the end zone, and it's not working. The Vikings are going for it on 4th and goal from the 2-yard line instead of taking the 3 points right now with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. And they refuse to run the ball, and no flags on the play. The Detroit Lions get the stop. Wow. I would have just taken the 3, bro. You know what I mean? I don't understand these modern coaches, all in all the time. And what I really don't get is you just ran the same effing play 3 times in a row to the same part of the end zone 3 times in a row. And it was either covered or Darnold was nowhere near close with it. I don't understand that play calling at all. Brutal, man.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it here on the screen. Yeah, I don't like the play call either. It's going to be interesting to see with Sam Darnold. Obviously, he's had a career year, but when you look at these playoff quarterbacks, you're just wondering, like, which one do you have the least faith in? Not knocking him, but you're wondering, is Sam Darnold going to turn back into the Sam Darnold we expect? Let me ask you this.
Yeah, it's not even the playoffs, and he's turning into a pumpkin right now. Sorry, go on, Dave.
Oh, no, you're good. Assuming that the Lions win this game, just hypothetically, what do you think that spread is going to be next week? Because Minnesota would have to, if Minnesota plays they would be playing the Rams, is it?
Yeah. It's the Rams.
What do you think that spread's going to be? Let's just say if Minnesota and the Rams, what would you say? What would you guess that number is going to be looking like?
I'm going to say 1.5, and I should note, I've seen hypothetical spreads. They don't have them up right now, but I saw them earlier in the day. The Lions were 3.5-point favorites at the Rams. The Vikings were 1.5-point favorites at the Rams.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle, Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say, listen, he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. He won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
I got to tell you, man, Jared Goff is lucky that's not a safety. Like, they just got to him in the end zone. He threw it away. I thought it hit a lineman in the back. Like, which, all right, so what, there's seemingly a penalty on the play. I'm not sure what it is. There's no flag on the play. I see the referee, what happened now? Do they pick up the first down anyways? Wow. The Lions needed to get to the 11, and they pick it up. Unbelievable. So close. Like, I really don't, they just got away with that, in my opinion. Like, where was he throwing it to? He was throwing it away, and it hit. I guess they're saying Montgomery was beside him. That's the definition of throwing it away, man. He was getting sacked in the end zone. He just sort of threw it, and it hit a lineman in the arm. That's throwing it away, Dave. I don't understand how that's not a penalty and a safety.
Well, it looked like Gibbs, the running back, was right there. So I guess they're saying that he was trying to throw it.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying to throw it to him. Like, that's the whole thing, because Gibbs was sort of standing in the area. That's the thing that saved it. But that was like, if I was the Vikings, I'd be pissed about that right now. And I am pissed because I wanted the points.
You're not going to throw it to your guy next to you in your own end zone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like, 2 feet right here, like, dude, like that. Come on, yeah. And even worse, it hit the lineman. That, like, this should be no dispute. Like, yeah, Gibbs is right in front of him, so it's like, oh yeah, Gibbs is in the area. Yeah, like he was throwing it to Gibbs there at 100 miles an hour, like he just did, throwing it like, God, that was a big turning point there, and also a massive turning point, guys. I don't know why the Vikings go for it. Just take the 3, man. Take the 3. It's still early in the game. Like, you think, oh, we're going to need touchdowns. Yeah, you're going to need touchdowns because you'll be losing 14-0 soon. Like, just make it 7-3. You get a little confidence. You look up at the scoreboard. You're not getting shut out. You know, all right, hey, we scored a touchdown. We're leading the game now. Like, for the love of God, these coaches, I don't get it, Dave. It drives me crazy, man. And for the record, guys, this in-game total has just plummeted all the way to 41.5 right now. Holy sweet Maria.
You like the over at this point, or is it too much of a risk? I mean, if that's a big,
I would say yes.
15-point drop, yeah.
I would say yes, Dave, but I think the Lions are so systematic right now. They're just picking up these first downs. There's no big plays. So I'm thinking, I don't know, why don't we wait and see if we can get a 38.5 or something? You know what I mean? Let's see if it can come down even a little bit more.
Yeah, that is true. Especially, I mean, yeah, you're exactly right, because the Lions still have a long way to go. So even if Detroit scores,
Oh,
The way
wait. As I say this, we wouldn't have been able to get the bet in, Dave. I'd be mad right now. Like, it happened so fast, bro. They just intercepted Jared Goff and returned it to the 6-yard line. There's a turning point.
I guess O'Connell at this point would say that that's why he went for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what? I would tell him, yeah, coach, we could have got the stop and it'd be 7-3 right now. We get the stop too. You know what I mean? Be the same thing. Wow.
But I guess that's a makeup. I guess that's a makeup though for golf. I mean, just for that grounding he got away with.
You're right. He did it again. Yeah. He just said it.
How many times did he try to bounce the ball?
That's a good call,
off the
Dave. That's a good call. The football gods are like, all right, Jared, you got away with it last time. No. You can't just keep like dumping it off like this and thinking you're gonna like.
Yeah.
All right, and now you know the Vikings are going to make this difficult on themselves, though. And now, like, they're almost screwed. They're going to have to go for it again since they already did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, God, this is going to be interesting. So they go to Jefferson on first down, and it's nearly intercepted. Problem is, like, you got to be a good quarterback to complete these passes, Dave, in these short, tight spaces, man. I almost think you're better off running the football, in my opinion. Little jet sweep, shovel pass, like, it's hard to do even if you're a good quarterback. Like Jordan Love and the Packers have this problem. Like a lot of teams, like, you know, in the modern NFL, like college football, Dave, all these spread offenses, you see when they get inside the 5 and 10, they're screwed. We're seeing this with the Vikings. I don't know why they're so scared to try to run the freaking football. They keep on throwing it on every play.
Yeah, maybe just the game changes so much, even being older, like in high school. I mean, I was at a school that sometimes had no receivers, right, and full backfield. So I don't like, even if you're going to throw the ball, I like having a running back, just me personally. I like having a running back in the backfield there to at least not telegraph it as much.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be a quarterback run for Darnold. So, why let them know that you're throwing the ball on first down?
And they keep throwing it to Jefferson over and over in the same, like, back of the end zone. Like, they've run the same play almost 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
And now they miss it again to Jefferson. Darnold, you had him wide open. And look at this one. Darnold threw it like 100 miles an hour over his head.
Yeah, I like running the ball.
Oh, my God, Darnold. Dude, look at this. All you got to do is lob it, Darnold. Lob it. Like, this is unreal. Darnold is just killing them right now. And I don't know why O'Connell keeps on running the same plays and expecting him to be like to complete them. You're not going to go for it again, are you? Like, this is unbelievably frustrating.
For the game, are you on the Vikings for the game, Gabe?
Yeah, I'm on the Vikings.
Oh, my goodness. I'm a little behind. My feet's a little behind.
Oh. But you see the pass now, bro, what I'm talking about?
That was bad. That was real bad.
Darnold like no touch, eh? Like you got Justin Jefferson in the corner of the end zone open. Kid nearly missed the chip shot field goal too. No, and Darnold, like I said, like he's got to take some off the ball earlier. I said it, and what's he do? He throws this super fast, like even Jefferson got all spun around and like, holy, and now, this is another thing too. So now O'Connell takes the 3. Now you take the 3, eh, Coach? Could have been 7-6 right now. Whatever, hypothetically. In-game total 44 and a half. All right, we'll wrap up with Dave on the other side here. We're coming up against it. The Vikings are now getting 3.5. Total of 44 and a half. And Sam Darnold looks terrible.
They're not helping him out. They're not even trying to run the ball.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their third straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes the ankle, Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say, listen, he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. Won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
In-game live game day continues. I am Gabriel Morency. Shout out to everybody watching our broadcast right now live on X. We got a live chat going on. Derek Saunders in the house. Mike, what's going on? Mike Parsons. We got Viking fans in the house earlier as well. Shout out to G-Man VMT, to Ken, and to everybody else joining us right now in the chat and everywhere else. Jay Roth. We got Dave Delano just for a couple of more minutes. HitThePick.com. You can follow him on X at Get Sports Strong. Get Sports Strong. So the in-game total now is 43.5, Dave. You and I were talking at 41.5. We got the interception, and suddenly they only got 3 points out of it. It just moved to 44.5, but I think now is the buy time, actually, bro, because I think the Lions are going to score on this drive, and then the Vikings will finish it off in the first half here. So I think this is where there's going to be some points, and the game opens up.
Yeah, I think that 44 right now is that mark that I wouldn't want to touch. If you do want to play the over, most people would probably do listening. You know, if you get it at that under 44 mark, but once it gets to 40, once it gets above 44, I'd probably stay away from it. And I do think that we're going to see another. Looks like the Lions are going to score just the way it's going. And if you're live betting, you got to think about what's going to happen because you just have a quick decision to think about it. I can see this falling right around that 44, 45 point range for the game.
Yeah, that's a key number, 45, guys. I'm jumping in right now before it moves. Because one more first down, guys, I'm telling you, a couple of more first downs are going to pop up to 45.5. They're already in midfield right now. And we should note the Vikings get the ball to start the second half. I got to believe eventually they're going to start to make plays, but I got my concerns about Darnold right now. He's not hitting guys. He's throwing the ball. He's too amped up, and, we're getting into this game right now, and he still hasn't dialed things down. Dave, before we get you out of here, there's a college football game tomorrow. I got to get your college football playoff thoughts too, Thursday and Friday. But are you playing the championship game, the FCS game tomorrow night in Frisco, Texas, which I'm looking forward to. I've been betting the playoffs throughout. Montana State, 3-point favorites, total 58.5 against the FCS beast that is North Dakota State. I like the Bobcats in this game. Montana State, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't officially made any plays on this yet, but I have been enjoying this FCS playoffs, and I almost want to go with these teams are pretty familiar with each other. I almost want to go with the over, even though I have respect for both of those offenses. But a little bit, haven't checked the weather, but it has been a little bit chillier right now in Texas than normal, although it's not going to bother.
These teams are from North
right.
Dakota and Montana, bro. Like 30s to 30s is fine.
Just another day in May for them. I kind of like the over in this one. I'm not sure if I'll bet it or not, but I mean, Montana State, people may forget, I believe that first game of the season, they were a double-digit favorite against New Mexico, which is a big deal, for an FCS program of any side just to be a double-digit favorite against FBS team. And they've lived up to the hype. North Dakota State, they had that exciting game that they played Colorado down to the wire at the beginning of the season. So I'm expecting points. I think it'd be fun to see points. So I kind of like the over in that one, even though it's a high total.
Yeah, those FCS playoff games, man, these teams can put points up on the board even in bad weather. And this is neutral field in Frisco, Texas. Thursday night, Notre Dame, they're laying 2, total 46.5. And the spread really hasn't moved at all in the Ohio State-Texas game, 6 and 53.5. It's been standing strong since it was posted.
Yeah, out of these two games, I think the one that I like the most is going to be that Notre Dame and Penn State game. Penn State, I mean, they've looked really impressive, but I like the Irish. I've had some questions about Riley Leonard. If obviously they've been able to win without him throwing for a whole lot of yards. You capitalize off turnovers, you get a kickoff return. A lot of the stuff with James Franklin, and sometimes it's I don't know if it's fair to say a guy 1-12 against top 5 teams, because most people don't get to face top 5 teams that much. And when you do, I mean, you're facing a top 5 team. But I like the Irish in that one. Overall, Penn State, I think that it's just hard for me to see Penn State in the championship. I think we're going to see a Notre Dame Ohio State championship game. But I don't know about that spread, that 5.5-6 with the Buckeyes. I think the Buckeyes went outright, but I'm not so sure that both favorites cover. So the one that I feel the most confident in, I would say, is Notre Dame winning.
It's amazing. It's amazing with Ohio State. People go from thinking they're the best to the worst to the best. It's like people are all over the place with this team. Dave, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle, Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. He won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
In-game live game day continues, and a lot has happened in the last couple of minutes in the commercial break. The Detroit Lions went for it on 4th and inches, which not surprising. It was on the Viking 42-yard line. All right, they threw the football, but Goff just threw it into the ground. Then suddenly Goff is off. Darnold is off. Goff is off. So the play imploded. The Vikings get the football, but the Vikings offense is having a big-time problem moving the football. Darnold just had a nice little scramble. Maybe that'll wake him up a little bit. Sometimes, you need to get hit or, there's got to be a turning point. I remember, as a goalie, I used to like an early shot, like a hard one type thing, get hit in the face with a slap shot. You know what I mean? Like boom. It'd be like, all right, let's go. It's like a UFC fighter. You know what I mean? Speak to a lot of UFC fighters, and they all say, yeah, fight doesn't really start until I get kicked in the head. And then people always talk. People, it's funny, UFC media, MMA media, they always break down, and they think they're so smart. They break down, oh, well, this guy's jiu-jitsu, and, if he does this and he does that. And, I've been buddies with a lot of fighters, as you guys know, over the years, and I always ask them, so what do you think of, this strategy? And you hear this and that. And they're like, dude, they're like, all you losers talk about this stuff. They're like, we're in a cage with some dude that's trying to kill us. He goes, the strategy is not to get killed. That's the strategy, right? He goes, all that other stuff. He goes, yeah, in theory, it didn't make sense. But he goes, once you get kicked in the face, you get punched in the face and you get knocked down, there's not really much strategy left to it, right? You know what I mean? Besides trying to survive. I've had different fighters tell me really funny answers to that. I used to always ask them that. So what's the strategy? I remember one guy told me to get my face as least busted up as possible. Other people not to get knocked out. You know what I mean? People always think even UFC fighters, they all look tough and all this, but they're just normal dudes, right? And they all have friends. And after a couple of drinks, they'll tell you honestly, I don't want to fight this guy. I've heard it all from fighters. But my point is, sometimes you need to get jammed, and then you wake up. So maybe that shot. You know what I mean? Darnold, that was a nice little run. Even though it's funny, it seemed like Darnold picked up 12 yards. He picked up 4. He's so slow, but it was a nice play, right? It was a nice play. It put him in a favorable situation, in the third down run, and then he completed the pass after. So, and don't forget, Minnesota get the ball to start the second half. So this game is incredibly frustrating. I guess it's the way the year would have to end, right? The regular season. George Kurtz joining us and us crying for points. I bet the in-game over 44.5. It just fell to 42.5 because the Lions got stuffed on the 4th and inches right after I bet it. We are on the Vikings plus the points in this game. I just need this game to open up, man. For me personally, I'm locked and loaded with all these 10-point teasers. I got the Vikings plus 13, which is whatever I'm feeling okay about, but I need it to get to 47. We're at 42.5 right now. And Minnesota's offense isn't clicking. Minnesota don't really run the ball that well either. Aaron Jones has hit a wall. Earlier in the year he was scoring touchdowns, and he was playing well. You saw too they didn't want to give it to him, which I would have. I think they ran what? They ran seven plays inside the 4 on 2 different drives, and they gave it to Jones once. And as I say this, Jones just popped a nice run. That was a beautiful little play that Jones just did here. There was nothing there. Dude stopped on a dime, spun, did the spinorama, and turned it into a 5-yard gain. There was nothing there. That was about to be a loss. So, for the love of God, I don't understand why you didn't, give him a couple of cracks at this inside the 5-yard line, bro. Plus, Jones is good at getting into the end zone. You know what I mean? Instead, let's have Darnold throw the same damn play to Jefferson 7 times in a row. It's bro, he can't hit it. He can't hit it. Now, you know what? They figured it out. Look at this. Another big run for Aaron Jones. Here's a late penalty, though. Are you going to call, really, you're going to call holding? Jones and the Vikings think it's, I was going to say, I don't really see holding on this. There was no holding, and then at the end, whatever, a couple of Lions got bowled over, but the Vikings are pretty convinced that it's on the Lions. All the other, and it is on the Lions. Every Viking player is no. It's you. They were pointing you. And it is on them. defensive holding on O'Connor. So now the Vikings got something going, and it ain't Sam Darnold. And I got Darnold over touchdown passes. I got Darnold over yards. Darnold might not get 100 yards in this game at this rate. And now they know it's funny. They had too much trust in Darnold earlier, throwing the ball over and over. And now you notice they're like, no. Like, all right, run the ball. And as I say this, they go with the empty back set, which I'm also not a fan of. As Delano stated, you're letting Detroit know. All right, they brought someone back in. Jones, they had him in motion. You don't want to telegraph it too much. Listen, the Vikings are in no rush right now. There's a $1.07 left in the first half. They have the football, and they also get the football to start the second half. So in their minds, they've got a minute here, but you can't get complacent. You've got to find a way, guys. Like eventually, Detroit's offense is going to break through. You've got to put points up on the board. You're not going to get inside this is the third time you're inside the 20-yard line. You got 3 points. That's just not good enough. And the Vikings scored. We talked about it for the game, and like I said, I didn't go crazy with the over 56, 55 because I was like, man, that's super high. I talked about it for the game. This is like the stakes are so high in this game. It's like a playoff game. But at the same point in time, I didn't think that it would be 7-3 at this point. Like I said, I'm surprised that the Lions. Is it the Vikings defense? The Vikings defense is good. But Jared Goff, like I said, he seems a little off. The Lions' play calling is more conservative than it normally is. The Vikings' play calling was very aggressive early in the game. They kept on trying, like they were like, all right, we're going to throw the ball with Darnold, and they've kind of clued in. He can't do it. So let's dial it back, and let's start running the ball. Now they've had success on this drive running the football. But it's 3rd and 6. They've gotten jammed up already 2 times on 3rd down and on a 4th down. As I stated, they've ran 7 plays inside the 5 and got 3 points. Now they're on a 3rd and 6 on the 14-yard line. Let's see what they dial up here. Doesn't have a hope in hell. Like that man, their play calling is baffling. The Vikings, like I said, all the talk, O'Connell is a great coach, but man, he was under pressure. I get it, but it's like, guys, it's not working. Like, you've got to get rid of the ball quicker, and it'll make it easier for Darnold, right? Like, they have Darnold dropping back and surveying the field all the time. He just got lit up. He got rid of it like he should have, and I'm telling you, this Viking field goal kicker is shaky, man. He nearly missed the early chip shot here. Here's a 31-yarder. All right, this one's down the middle. They left 20 seconds on the clock. 7-6. Oh, God. In-game total has fallen to 39.5, and I'm already, like, on a bad train going nowhere. Thank you. Field goal. Need some touchdowns in this game. Think about that. 3 times this game, the Vikings were inside 3 different drives. The Vikings were inside the 15-yard line and have come away with 6 points. You guys are trying to get the 1 seed. It's like watching the games today with the Falcons and the Bucks. You guys, who wants the playoff spot, anyways? I mean, you both look like you're going to get bounced. You're watching this game. These guys don't look like 1 seeds to me. They don't look like one seeds to me right now. But the stakes are high. We're bitter because we bet the over, and that's our own fault. You know what? You guys know I'm a stubborn person, so I'm going to say this game's going to get into the 40s still. It's going to open up. There's going to be an epic second half, and we're all going to leave here happy. Nothing but positivity. Tom Vecchio steps up and in with the halftime report. I'll see you in the third quarter.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle. Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say, listen, he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. He won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Well, we're back because we had a little bonus here. I said to you guys, the Minnesota Viking kicker is shaky. All right, he nearly missed a 27-yarder. He's a rookie. He's been shaky. You know, anyone's watching Vikings, he's been really shaky lately. The last kickoff that he kicked off after the field goal, he nearly put it out of bounds. I remember it bounced and it just barely bounced into the end zone. Nearly went out of bounds. It's like, kid, it's the one thing you can't do with 20 seconds left is kick it out of bounds and give the Detroit Lions the ball, because you get the ball at the 40-yard line if you kick it out of bounds. And the Lions have a good kicker. So he kicked it out of bounds. The Lions completed a couple of passes, and this is an opportunity for our long field goal prop. Not a lot as well went right in the first half for us, but it was 47.5 only, and this is 48 yards right now. Bates for 48. And Bates for 48 is good. Put it on the board. Let me hear it. Put it on the board. That helps the total a little bit. We were at 39.5, and I was crying. What did I say to you guys? I said, this game's got to get over 40. We're at 42.5 right now. And we hit the long field goal prop. We'll take it. So we got a 10-6 football game. It begrudgingly somehow gets up to 16 points. Not exactly a glamour affair here. Should be noted that the Minnesota Vikings will get the ball to start the second half. So it's 42.5 right now. We're at 16, so you need 27 points. I do believe it's going to get stupid and crazy in the second half. I'm not just saying this as wishful thinking. I do think this game is going to still. I think there's some entertainment and some chaos to come here. You can just sort of feel it. Someone's got to start making plays. Frustrating first half, though, for over players, prop players. Tom Vecchio will take over and get you caught up to date. We'll see what Tom likes at the half. I'll post some picks here. I do think this game is going to get there still. I think we're going to get to 43. I'm holding out hope that I'm going to get to my 47. Maybe we get to overtime, 24-24. You know what I mean? This game opens up in the second half here. But our player, man, the quarterbacks just completely, the defenses have been dominant here in this game. Sam Darnold is up to 93. Goff is up to 115. Let's take full quarterback passing yard prop over second half.
What's going on, and welcome to Pro Football Today. Halftime show. My name is Tom Vecchio. Sunday Night Football. We just saw the Lions knock through a field goal, 10-6, capitalizing on that kickoff by the Vikings going out of bounds. Couple quick plays. They get the timeout. Jake Bates knocks through a 48-yard field goal. Again, 10-6 at halftime. The spread has moved to 3.5 in favor of the Lions. The over-under has plummeted to 42.5. At one point, it was sitting down at 39.5 just a few minutes ago before this field goal. Obviously, this game opened up at 56, or closed at 56.5, with a 2.5-point spread or 3-point spread in favor of the Lions. I was on In-Game Live about 7:30 or so, discussing this game, and as I tweeted out, like, this game's all about under 56.5, and just the level of importance that this game brings for both teams with the number one seed at stake, a first round bye on the line. This game is all about the under. And I know the offense is coming in, and the hype that this game had, two teams that have 14 wins, and it's the last game of the regular season, and there's all this momentum. It was really, really all about the under. And it is important to note that the loser of this will play at the Rams next Monday night for Wild Card Weekend. And the winner of this, of course, will get that first round bye. So a hugely important game. I just did not see these two teams turning this into a shootout, scoring 60 points in what, I'm not going to say it's a playoff game or a must-win game, but it's about as close as we can get to that. So live line now is at 42.5. It is juiced minus 122 to the over, and the line is 3.5 in favor of the Lions. You can take the Vikings at plus 3.5. It is minus 130. We will see the Vikings getting the ball coming out of halftime. Now, let's get into some of these player stats, because we have seen a clear lack of production from Sam Darnold. He has 93 yards, and he's 9 of 20 so far in the first half. Coming into the game, his passing prop was sitting at 293. Now, his live line is sitting at 253. Goff, he's 13 of 17, 115. Neither of them have passing touchdowns. We do see 115 from Goff so far. His line is sitting at 241.5, also on In-Game Live with Joe, Adam, and Scott. I spoke about Jared Goff throwing an interception, which he also came through on that. So, off to a pretty good start in this game. Again, I'm not seeing a ton of scoring. Will scoring pick up a little bit? Yes. Do I think there's an opportunity to take this live over of over 43, which it's moved to now? It's 43.5, minus 128 to the under. Do I think there's an opportunity for that? Absolutely. This game ending, as I said on In-Game Live, I think this game ends like 27-24. That's the kind of feeling I got from us. We're not going to get 56. We're not going to get 60 points. It's not going to push that upper end. But we're still going to see these offenses shine through at a certain point, and the main players will get into the end zone, giving us 3-ish touchdowns for both teams. Maybe we get those couple field goals, which we're already kind of on pace for. So a 28, 24, 27, somewhere around there, whatever the math works out for their current score. They have 10. They scored 2 touchdowns. Obviously, you would put them up at 24 for Detroit, and a field goal 27. We're kind of at that mark where we get to those mid-40s of points, but not all the way up at 56 or 57. So the line has moved back to 42.5, minus 122 to the over. I do think there's an opportunity to take that live over. We're coming up against the break right now. We can dive back into some player props, live props, and what players have done so far in the first half as we are here for the final game of the regular season. Lines are up 10-6 at halftime. An under as of now, but we, of course, will circle back on all this on the other side of this break. Stay tuned right here on Pro Football Today, halftime show with myself, Tom Vecchio. You guys after this break.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle, Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3 here. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. He won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
What's going on, and welcome to Pro Football Today. Halftime show. My name is Tom Vecchio. Sunday Night Football. Lions are out ahead at 10-6 at halftime. They just hit that late field goal. We see the live line obviously moving around 42.5, 3.5 point spread in favor of the Lions. Line is moving back to 43.5. It's minus 128 to the under. Now, when we're looking at some of these player props as of now, I think for the Vikings, I think that obviously the air is the way to go. Not going to be doing too much on the ground. Justin Jefferson has struggled to get going in the first half. 6 targets, only 2 receptions. I'm going to say one of TJ Hawkinson or Jordan Addison, one of them has to step up and at least provide a bit of a threat in the receiving game just in terms of the Lions defense, having to focus on them, and hopefully that'll open up Justin Jefferson. But someone's got to step up just to provide that boost to the offense that the Vikings need overall. So Addison is sitting at 34.5 yards, currently with 0 yards. Hawkinson is also sitting at 34.5 yards. He has 8 yards on that 1 reception. I think Jordan Addison is still the play at the end of the day. 34.5 for him. Obviously, it's far lower than his number that was in the mid-60s or low 60s to start this game. He's played an immensely consistent role throughout the entirety of the season. He only has 2 targets in the first half. He does technically have 1 catch, but it was for 0 yards, so he does have a catch. It's got to be him. If they're not getting it going on the ground with Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson isn't being effective, the defense is obviously devoting extra resources to preventing Justin Jefferson from getting open a ton. It has to be someone else, and I'm really looking at Jordan Addison in that capacity. So again, 0 yards at halftime. His live line is sitting at 34.5. If you are on the Vikings and you like them to cover, obviously the 3.5 line is what it is right now. It is juice minus 125. The Vikings will be getting the ball to start the second half. The live total keeps moving everywhere. It's 43, 42.5, whatever it might be. It is juiced at 43.5, juiced to the under at minus 128. I would look for a bit more scoring. Let's actually check on the second half total for this. Second half total is sitting at 28.5. Okay. So that would be implying, would we be getting 4 total touchdowns from these teams? Probably not. If I had to guess, I would say 3 touchdowns and a field goal. 3 touchdowns, like maybe we get 2 field goals. Again, just based on the way these teams are moving. And at a certain point, they're going to get – listen, if the Vikings don't score in this opening drive and the then the Lions do score, we're going to get in a spot where the Vikings are at like the 40-yard line, and they're not going to punt, they're not going to go for a field goal, and they're going to have to go for it on fourth down. And then if they don't convert on fourth down, they're just not going to be scoring. So we would see that trend towards the under. So the 27.5 for the second half total, that seems just a tad too high. It is juice minus 126 to the under. So it obviously does make sense, not expecting a full 4 touchdowns in the second half alone. Now, if we're looking at touchdown props, because we've seen a very clear lack of scoring, obviously, with Jahmyr Gibbs having the only touchdown of the game. It depends on what side you're on. If you've already backed the Lions, if you've already backed the Vikings, where you want to be going. I obviously don't mind taking Justin Jefferson at plus 180 as a line that we never get Justin Jefferson at. Jordan Addison, I think he's going to be in for a bigger role at plus 240. But, someone like Sam Laporta at plus 380, I could see that being a route for the Lions, as we know he likes to be a good red zone target for Jared Goff. I could see him being involved, and he's been catching passes to at least start this game. 3 catches, 21 yards, like not an amazing performance. Obviously, no one's having a super great performance outside of Gibbs or St. Brown, but Sam Laporta could be an option for the Lions once they get into the red zone, and of course, that's a great number up at plus 380. So, second half is going to be getting underway shortly. 10-6 in favor of the Lions. As a reminder, the winner of this gets the number 1 seed in the NFC. They get the first round bye. The loser of this will go on the road next Monday night to take on the Rams, who rested all their starters earlier today. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Matt Stafford, of course, will all be back for Monday night for a home game after they won the division. And that will be a game that myself, Dave Sherapan, and Adam Kaufman will be doing on Pro Football, the pregame show, so that we'll be back for that next Monday night. So a huge, huge second half of football coming up. Yes, there's not a whole lot of scoring, but just the overall importance of this game and what the winner gets from it. This is high leverage football. This is what we want to be seeing. It's going to be a great second half, even if there's not a whole lot of scoring. It's going to be very, very impactful. So stay tuned. Gabe is coming back up. I will be back after the game going up till midnight to recap all of today's action and take a look at the playoff bracket, playoff odds.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle, Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say, listen, he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. Won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
And the second half has begun. In-game live game day, so-called game of the year in the National Football League. It has been a defensive battle so far, although, listen, the defenses are playing well, but the Vikings, Sam Darnold's rattled. Goff isn't on his game. Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, like no one's throwing the ball deep down the field. Like it's very, it's like, an elimination game. Both teams seem to be nervous in this game. And to be honest with you, it's not installing a lot of confidence, like moving forward with these football teams in the playoffs, actually, to be honest. Like if they're that rattled right now with this game, what are they going to be like when it counts? I know Detroit's been there, done that. But nevertheless, the second half has started. The Vikings just got bailed out by a penalty. So remember, the Vikings got the ball to start the second half. They're down 10-6 because their kicker kicked the ball out of bounds late at the end of the first half. But before we bring Sean Higgs in, everybody knows where I stand on this game already. We did jump in on the over 43.5. That's what it happens to be right now. Went down to 39.5, and then that field goal went back up to 40. That's where it is now, 43.5. Vikings currently getting 3.5 as well. As we speak, which surprises me. All right, so Sam Darnold is going to start to make some passes. Anytime they throw it down the field, he's way off. He just sort of had an open man, and he one-hopped it there. I jumped in on a bunch of wide receiver props here in the second half just because, I think the game is going to open up a bit, and eventually somebody's going to start hitting some passes. But Aaron Jones, we took Aaron Jones over 4.5. We don't need a lot, actually. Let me tell you where they're at here. So we got Aaron Jones receptions over 4.5. He's at 3. So I need 2 catches from Aaron Jones in the second half. Jalen Naylor over 1.5. I need 1 catch in the second half. He's got 1. Jahmyr Gibbs over 3.5 receptions. He had 2 in the first half. And Tim Patrick, who's always a sleeper on the Lions. I took over 2.5 minus 160. At the half here. It should be noted he's got 2 catches. So I laid 60 cents for him to catch 1 pass. And we got a big play here, and it's not Sam Darnold. We got a big play. The Minnesota Vikings. Now, guys, you've been down here before, though. You've already been in here a bunch of times. Now finish it off this time. As we want this game to open up. This might be it here right now. Cam Akers just popped one for 58 yards. Cam Akers comes in for Aaron Jones and pops one. Jones is all fired up on the sidelines for him right now. Hell of a run by Cam Akers. Let's bring in Sean Higgs right now. Sean, I got a lot of action on this game, and I need this game to open up. So I like to see that. And I'm on the Minnesota Vikings, and I got overs, and I'm all over the place here. Let's get some points put up on the board. They've been inside the 5 twice already on 2 drives. They got 3 points. They've been inside the 20-yard line, should say inside the 15-yard line on 3 different drives, and they come away with 6 points. They need a touchdown here, Higgs. How you doing?
All right, well, I'm with you on Minnesota. They need a touchdown. I like the aggressiveness when they're down 7-0 there. You go for it. You have them pinned deep, maybe at a safety or in the ground or whatever there. Yeah, can you put some points on the board here? And I actually took an in-game under in this one. I know you're saying you're hoping for a lot of stuff here. What we've seen out of this, though, this looks like it's going to be a low scoring. It's not like our other weeks where I think it's going to open up.
What did you take? What was the number you got?
41.5. 43.5. 43.5. I'm sorry, 43.5.
We're on the same one, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope this gets to 47, to be honest. But this is massive. And they're going to go for it here. So they're on it's 3rd and goal on the 2 right now. So now they're on the 2-yard line. Just run the ball here, guys. Run the ball. You just threw it on the last play.
The last time down here, they didn't go for it, right? Or they went for it on 4. Then the second time, they were in the same spot, and then they kick a field goal. Like, if you're going to go. I don't. Here, I know what you mean. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And now he's going to be all over the place. He's going to go for it here now. Watch. And they threw it. What? Like you're on the 2-yard line, and now you end up having Darnold running around, which isn't his thing, and he's all the way back on the 15-yard line. Like you're on the 2-yard line. You have Cam Akers and Aaron Jones. Just give it to him 4 times in a row, bro. You know what I'm saying? 4 times in a row. Just give it to the running backs. I'm with you. It makes no sense. The play call, and not just in this game. We see this all the time. Like Detroit did that. Fourth and inches. We're gonna throw the ball. Fourth, you can't fall. You can't just squeeze through inches. We're talking inches. How hard is it?
Now
kick a field goal.
They do it again. They throw the ball and they don't get it. They don't even come close to completing the pass. Everybody's covered. They get nothing out of it. Unbelievable.
You're this close.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. Like just take the damn 3 points. Or run the ball. It's not working throwing. It's not working throwing the ball. I don't know how many times they have to see this inside the 4-yard line. I don't get it.
Makes no
and
sense.
they keep putting Darnold in the shotgun, and he keeps on getting pressured and running around, and it's not even close to being successful. And then they run the ball at 58. You believe that, Sean? 58-yard run down the field, and then they run the ball once after.
Think about the first time. If they throw the ball to Justin Jefferson 3 straight times, you're on the 2. You have 7. If you're rushing 4, you have 7 defenders in the end zone, plus your 4 guys. There's 12 people in 10-yard and 30 feet of space, whatever it is. How you think you're going to find a steam?
I know. And you see Darnold's not on top of his game. He's got no touch. You need to be a stud to be a quarterback to be able to throw those passes in tight spaces. Not to mention, Sean, not just on Darnold, nobody's open, bro. You see it. The Lions are all over them. They're dropping 6 defensive backs in there because they know you're throwing all the time.
I would have took the 3. The score is 10-6, folks. You take a 3, it's 10-9. Has Detroit been running all over the joint? Go 10-9. It's 2 minutes into 3 minutes into the fourth quarter, third quarter.
You're playing for a 1 seed and a bye, and you're pulling this crap with your play calls.
I mean, I understand, like you were saying, they're playing scared. I don't think scared. It's I think they say the team wants the bye week. Whoever wins, they don't care how they win. Let's just get to the bye. We want home field, right? It's all about that home field. So the 56 was ridiculous.
Yeah, but
opened at 51.
Think about it, Sean.
That was crazy anyway.
They've left 6 points on the board. They went for it the other time and didn't get it. They just did it again. They could be winning this football game right now, 13-10. 12-10,
I don't mind going for it the first time. This time here should have been it should be 10-9 because neither team is doing much. You lucked into a 58-yard run. Before that, you had 3 carries for 5 yards with that guy. Take the 3 and then say, let the team. They're not. Is Goff? Are they moving up and down the field for Detroit? They got 3 points because you kicked it out of bounds by accident.
Yeah, I said it earlier. Neither of these teams. Neither of these teams.
Sorry,
neither of these teams look like 1 seeds right now. We'll put it that way. And like I said, they're playing. You know what I mean? They're so tight, both teams, and they're both so out of character right now. The play calling, though, I want to smash things watching this, just over and over and over. It's O'Connell is a so-called genius, and I do have a lot of respect for him, but it's really, bro? You're going to blow the 1 seed with Sam Darnold throwing the ball 9 times from inside the 5-yard line when it hasn't worked once? The one pass they completed was a little 2-yard pass, in there. It's I'm almost speechless.
I got a 20-1 O'Connell Coach of the Year ticket. I'm hoping to cash, and he might just blow it in this by losing this game. Probably cost him.
Oh, well, get this. Jared Goff just threw it up there on first down and got intercepted. You can't make this up. The Lions are doing everything possible to let the Vikings win this game, and the Vikings just won't take it. First play, look at this, just casually threw it at least it was thrown to midfield, and there was no return, but the Vikings just got the ball back again at midfield now.
That's like a punt. You know what? You almost got sacked in the end zone last time, so you heave it downfield, and then you get it's like they punted it away.
Yeah, but it's like they punted on first down. It's like they punted on first down. And tell me they're not tight and not themselves.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their third straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle. Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say, listen, he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. He won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Let's roll. In-game live game day continues, as does the frustration. It's been an eventful game. It hasn't been a high-scoring game. It's been an eventful game. It's been a turnover-prone game. It's been turnover on downs, interceptions, and the Minnesota Viking defense, they're balling. They keep on making plays and giving the ball back to their offense. After the last drive, Justin Jefferson went over and spoke with Sam Darnold, but like in a very positive way. Like he didn't pull a Stephon Diggs. He went over and like you can see him. He was supportive and he patted him on the head and stuff. And thing is, it's not really all Sam Darnold. Like the play calling blows. You're asking him like, you know what I mean? I'm not even blaming Darnold for the end zone type stuff. He missed Jefferson earlier in the game wide open, as you remember, Sean. But Sean Higgs with us. The play calling is terrible. And now Terrion Arnold is hurt for the Detroit Lions. He seems to be kind of hurt for real, which would be really bad for them. They're already shorthanded. And even though he's a kid and a rookie, he actually is like their best defensive back. Like they have him on like top players all the time. So he's on the sideline right now going into the 10th. The Vikings are moving the ball. Another big play for the Vikings. Vikings inside the 40-yard line right now. Listen, the Vikings, they feel good. They just got to finish off one of these drives right now, Sean. But in-game totals 42.5, bro, and the Lions are minus 1.5 right now. Sort of it's teetering. But you believe, and Terrion Arnold's on a golf cart being taken to the room right now. So I think we got a serious situation here. Not good for the Lions moving forward, no matter what happens. But the loser of this game will play next Monday night in Los Angeles against the Rams. There was an advanced number before kickoff, Sean. They took it off the board as this game goes on right now. But the advanced number was the Lions were minus 3.5 at L.A., and Minnesota were minus 1.5 at L.A. That's what it was before kickoff tonight.
Yeah, the Rams. In the Rams, will go off over a favorite and maybe down to a pick 'em with Detroit if Detroit loses here. And it'll probably be favored over Minnesota. It's the way Minnesota's playing. I got a better coach. I'm taking the Rams in that spot, regardless how this, whether it's a close game or whatever. But I want to go back to what you said. Their Vikings defense is bailing them out. We got to give the Lions defense a little credit for the red zone play there, right? If we're gonna blame Darnold, like, oh, you got to be better there. How about the defense coming up with eight stops inside the 5-yard line? Can we got to give Detroit as much credit as we're giving the Minnesota defense for slowing down Detroit and forcing them into some mistakes as well. So. But I think it comes down to both coaches playing. They're aggressive in their own way, but they're also playing a little safe. Like they don't want to lose, that home again. I think it's all about the home field for them, and that's why we're getting this kind of man. I don't know how to describe this without using really bad.
They just called intentional grounding on Sam Darnold, which was way less than what Goff got away with. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I don't understand that one. There actually was somebody where he just threw it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, these refs, man, they're pinching the Vikings here a little bit. It set them up in a second and set them. It was a safety. I said the same thing. It was clearly a safety. Dude, that's the definition of throwing it away. Just because Gibbs was standing beside you, like he wasn't trying to pass it to him. Right? Like the referees bailed him out there, and I don't understand that one, Sean. Darnold's free to spin around and wildly throw it like that if he wants to. Like, that was a garbage call, in my opinion. They did get a lot of it back to Jefferson on the 2nd and 23 here. Should be noted, the Viking field goal kicker, Shaky. We saw him kick the ball out of bounds, and with a 27-yard field goal, barely went through the uprights. And now they find themselves in a 4th and 6, right on cue. Man, you might be right about this, 12-10 finish or whatever, bro, the way this game is going.
I mean, these are supposed to be the Detroit, the greatest show on turf, these guys, right? A great offense. I mean, Darnold's got, 40 touchdown passes, and this is what we're getting today?
Jefferson should have caught that. This last pass, not on Darnold, Jefferson dropped it. Now everybody's rattled. Now they're going for a 51-yard field goal.
That's good. Here's the thing,
good job. So 10-9 right now, in-game total 42.5. And it's 1.5 still right now. So it's right there. Give credit to the kid. I've been ripping this kid here. He hit the 51-yarder. Good for him. At least they get 3 out of it. But dear God, once again, the Vikings have been inside the red zone and had the ball twice in the last 5 minutes and come away with 3 points. They're going to rue the day. Like the Lions are going to score a touchdown eventually here, bro. So it's minus 170 Lions money line right now. Vikings are plus 140 on the money line. So Sean Higgs with us. Sean, the first game up is the Chargers and Texans on Saturday at 4:30. The Chargers are 3-point favorites. The total's 43.5. You like anybody in that game?
I want to take the home dog. The Texans look terrible this year. But am I trusting the Chargers on the road? I'm not a big Charger guy. Everybody loves Harbaugh and look at my their old culture, defense. I'm not sold. You're going to give me 3 points. I'll lean. I haven't bet it. I do like Texans though. I probably will get behind them though for sure. Plus 3. Give me a full field goal with a home dog. Let's go.
Yeah, there's really nobody believing in them all. I'm a little bit surprised actually. To me, this game should be a pick 'em. Like, Houston minus 1.5 or something. They're giving the Chargers a lot of respect, and they're disrespecting the Texans a lot. I know the Texans have injury problems. I think that's something that needs to be brought up, right?
How many guys are out?
This is going to be a super close game, though. Total is 43.5. The Steelers is up to 9 right now. Was 8.5. There's even 9.5 popping up, but I see a 9. Total's 46. I know people are going to try to talk themselves into, you can make the argument that Tomlin's going to come up with a way to keep the game close. It's a playoff game. Baltimore have struggled in the past in the playoffs. They're division rivals, and this is a lot of points and all that. But Pittsburgh are just not a very good football team right now. Their offense is broken. With all that, I don't want to lay 9 with the Ravens, though. I don't. I think the point spread is too high, but it's a big leap of faith to trust Russell Wilson in the Steelers offense right now. I'll tell you that.
The Ravens look pretty darn good when they get going. That second half was ridiculous. I thought I was going to get that from the first half from the Ravens on Saturday over Cleveland. They put up monster second half numbers there. And they got their own injury, right? Yeah. Bateman's out for them.
Yeah, Cleveland aren't bad, though. No, I know Baltimore are great when they're rolling. Zay Flowers could miss this game. I don't know if he will, but he could. More on the other side.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their third straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle. Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. He won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
In-game live game day. I am Gable Morency, Sports Grid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. The Minnesota Vikings have had numerous opportunities, man. 4 or 5 now? 4 times inside the red zone. They've got 9 points. A couple of turnovers. Hell, they returned it to the 6-yard line. They couldn't get a touchdown out of it. It's just excruciating. Both teams are laying it on the line. So it's frustrating from a bettor. I get it, though. It's a defensive battle. And Sean Higgs was right. When you do have to give some credit as well. We can't just rip the offense. The defenses are making plays. Except I get the feeling that eventually the Lions are going to pop a big play here. We saw Gibbs with one big play earlier. You get the feeling that eventually they're going to make another play. But the Vikings defense is holding strong right now, 10-9 in this game. But one Lions touchdown, man, suddenly you're down by 8, and then it gets real for Minnesota.
Oh, they're going to go for it. They're not scared to go for it on 4th down 8 times in a row. So they'll take their shot. It's a game again. This is a spot. They're a little tight, unfamiliar territory for Minnesota, right? Come on, we thought the coach was going to improve the team, but you got your backup quarterback in there led to a 14-2 record. Let's be honest, the guy's a journeyman. He was on the Niners last year. I mean, he's gonna be a little tight. I know he's had a great year, but defense have stepped it up here.
He has been.
You can't get on him.
You know what, though? He gets it out of his system, at least you could say, if they can find a way to win this football game. Now Detroit suddenly are going backwards, though. Like I said, both teams are very uncharacteristic. Now Detroit are moving the football. 2 penalties in a row for the Detroit Lions. Now suddenly they've got themselves in a 2nd and long situation right now. And they were across midfield. Now they're back on their 40-yard line. They're just sort of spinning their wheels. There's a nice pass and completion. So they got a big chunk back here right now. They've just turned it into a 3rd and short. We'll see if they're able to, they put field goals on the board. We're just sort of going back and forth. The computer doesn't want to give up on the total. The total is 40.5 right now. The Lions are up to 3.5. All right, so what are your thoughts, Sean, on Baltimore and Pittsburgh? I was saying it's up to 9 right now. Any initial opinion on the game?
Yeah, it's tough to lay that, right? We said Flowers is hurt. I'm sure he'll probably play. It's the playoffs. Or they'll say, you know what? We don't need him. Pittsburgh's terrible. I mean, Pittsburgh rallied. They had no right winning that. You know what, Gabe? Let's look at Cincinnati last night, right? That exactly what Minnesota's doing here. They're leaving points all over the place, and next thing you know, there's a minute and 50 seconds left, and the other team got a chance to beat you on a field goal. That is exactly what we're watching in this game here. I think Baltimore should win this by like 10 plus. I have a future on them. I just have a bitter taste because I saw them lose to the Raiders being up 10 at home in the fourth quarter. And why do I think the Steelers, as bad as they've been in the second half, they've played good teams. They played this team. This is the third time they're playing the Ravens since Thanksgiving or whatever. You played the Chiefs. You played the Eagles. You played Cleveland twice. You played Cincinnati twice. Well, Cleveland beat you once. You know we saw Cleveland play decent for a half with Bailey Zappi for a couple. I mean, this is football. I don't want to wait. It's too many. This would be like I said off air today. This is why do I feel like everyone's going to be on the teaser here with the Ravens and your Bills here to get them down to a respectable field goal range here or whatever, 2.6, however you can do it, 6-7 point teaser.
That's why I wouldn't be surprised if it got to 10 actually, because people are going to hammer it so much. They're going to want to avoid letting people get the -2 with Baltimore. Speaking of which, Buffalo was 7.5 pretty much everywhere. Then 8.5 started to pop up, and now 8.5 seems to be the consensus number. Early move on Buffalo here with Bo Nix and the rookie quarterback going on the road. Listen, they look great today. KC obviously didn't play their starters, but Denver are a good football team. Sean Payton, look, between Denver and Buffalo, there's one coach that's won a Super Bowl, and it's not the Buffalo Bills coach, right? So I'm a Bills fan, but I'm like, wow, really? Hey, people are just, the big Bills love fest is on here in this football game. I do think the Bills will win. I think the Bills have a special sort of, there's an edge to the Bills this year. I don't think we see an early season choke job from them, but it's not going to be easy for the Bills to make the Super Bowl, man. The AFC is a bloodbath, right? If the Bills win this game and the Ravens win the game, then it's Baltimore at Buffalo in 2 weeks. And then they survive that, they're going to have to go to Kansas City after that. Like, for Buffalo to make the Super Bowl, they're going to earn it, I'll tell you that, if they do.
Baltimore.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their third straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle. Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say, listen, he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. He won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Detroit Lions. Of course, threw it over the middle of the field on a 4th and 2, an aggressive play call, and the Vikings defense could not do what the Lions defense has done numerous times to the Vikings tonight. Stop them inside the red zone and inside the 5-yard line. We've got an 8-point football game right now, 17-9. And, you know, I'm almost surprised in a way that Campbell wasn't super aggressive and went for 2 to try to get the 9-point lead, to get the 2-score lead on Minnesota, you know, but I don't think Dan Campbell's really an analytic guy. I think he's just sort of an all over the place, whatever he feels like doing type of guy. So, and he's got an 8-point lead now. Now the pressure's on the Minnesota Vikings offense for real. You can't settle for field goals anymore. No more playing around. Now, like, this game has sort of begun for real. We're late in the third quarter. In-game total is 41.5 right now, Sean, and the Vikings are getting 5.5. So what do you think of the Bills and the Broncos? What's your early lean there? And I should note as well, everybody, the USA just won, just seconds ago, won the World Junior Hockey Championships, albeit not easily, 4-3 in overtime over Finland. They just scored in overtime right now. 4-3 final score. USA goes back-to-back for the first time in like a long time. Congratulations to USA Hockey, big-time win. Yeah, Bills up to 8.5. As you stated, too, it's going to be a big-time teaser play. And already right now, I'm looking at a book, Sean, Ravens up to 9.5. They're going to want to get it to 10.5 to screw people on the teasers here. Everyone's taking the Ravens. And you're right with the Bills, too. You get it on a 7-point teaser now. You get the Ravens minus 2.5, the Bills minus 1.5. There's been movement, Sean. The Eagles opened up at 3.5 on the Packers. And, in fact, it was 2.5 a couple of days ago. It was up. Now it's 4.5. Jordan Love got taken out of the game today, but it was more precautionary. He's going to play in this football game. Jordan Love's going to be fine, but the Packers haven't looked great. They're a lot like the Steelers. They've kind of faded down the stretch. Packers are getting 4.5 now at Philadelphia, Sunday at 4:30.
Philly in a rout. I think Philly by like double digits.
Really? Huh?
I'm not buying. Yeah, I like Philly a lot here. You know, they played early. Does that even matter? Like, I mean, you played in another country. I don't think that.
They played in Brazil in week 1. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I kind of throw that out.
And Jordan Love got hurt.
Who is the good team that these guys have beat this year? They beat the Niners, Green Bay, and the Niners are terrible.
No, you're right. I brought up Green Bay. Green Bay hasn't. They haven't beaten teams with a winning record this year. They're terrible against good teams.
We can say you beat the Rams. They didn't have, and I don't think the Rams had their receivers. I think Puka and what's his name were both out. They didn't play. So you get a little asterisk there.
It should be noted, though, it's not like Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles quarterback situation's healthy either. Jalen Hurts hasn't played. He's far from 100%.
But that's also why it's so low. That's why it's a 3.5. And listen, Hurts just played. That line just ticked up. That's on Hurts news, not anything on Reed. Reed could have played, Jordan Love, rather. I'm saying Jordan Love.
Yeah, we know Love is playing. Yeah, we knew Hurts was going to play as well. He's not going to be 100%. He's never 100%. But that's up to 4.5.
Yeah.
I don't think the Eagles are all that either, though. I do agree. I do agree with you that the Packers have flaws. You know what I mean? I like the Packers in a regular season win totals and stuff like that, but I don't think they're legitimate contenders. I don't like what I've seen. Oh, big play Minnesota. Oh, but he fell out of bounds. I think I just hit my Naylor prop, though. I needed one more catch from Naylor. We hit the Jahmyr Gibbs. We played a bunch at the half here, guys. There's a flag on the play, though. Minnesota gets a big play. I don't know what the flag is on. Yeah, of course. I know. A big play Minnesota really would have helped them out, too. I think the flag could be on the Lions, to be honest.
Philly started out a little bad. Their lone loss down the stretch here was that the Redskin game, Washington Commander game, and that was their defense fell apart, whatever the case would be. I think this is a team you don't want to play. This is a team that's got their new coordinators coming to season, and you saw them reel off 9-10 in a row. Now Hurts has been out for 2 weeks. I think he's going to be fine, and I think the team believes they ran off 9-10 in a row. New OC, new DC, they're gelling. Green Bay, no thank you. No, thank you. It's Philly.
Yeah, the Eagles have a lot of talent. I don't know if they're gelling. They all hate each other. They hate the code. There's always friction with everybody. On the
say gel, they're buying whatever the coordinators are telling them. The coordinators, the defense has been there. The offense has been getting the point. They might not get along, but as a unit under those guys, the results speak for themselves. Come on.
All right, we got a big 3rd and 4 coming up here. There's still a lot of football left, but it feels like the game is sort of getting real right now. Now that Detroit have scored another touchdown. So it's 17-9, 40 seconds left in the third quarter of play. And you got a big-time 3rd and 4 coming up for the Vikings on the Detroit 34-yard line. Field goals aren't going to help them. You know what I mean? They need touchdowns. They need to keep up, keep the pace up here. And every time it looks like they've got something over the middle of the field, they can't complete it. It looked like it was there for Hawkinson again. Nice defense. You got a 4th and 4, and it looks like the Vikings are keeping the offense on the field. It would be a 52-yard field goal. It's not much point in making it 17-12, to be honest with you. I get they're going for it here at this point. I'd take the threes when we're close, to the goal line, and we're not doing it. Was that pass interference uncalled? I don't know. No, you know what? They're going for the field goal. Wow, well, O'Connell's all over the place, huh? 50, it's not a lock. If it's more of a chip shot field goal, I get it. All right, we're down 8, we want points, but it's a 52-yard field goal. You miss this, you're giving Detroit good field position. It's only 4th and 4.
It's 4 yards. I guess his thought is, my guy's going to hit it. It's 17-12. You've had one drive all game. We can make a stop and get the ball back.
Good. Yeah. Nowhere near good. Like I said, I don't understand not going for it there. You're down a touchdown. You're 4th and 4. You keep on getting the ball in midfield. At some play, you've got to man up and start making plays. You can't just keep kicking the can down the road here. And like I told you guys, too, their field goal kicker is shaky. I know he made the 51-yarder, but, that was nowhere close. That was nowhere close. And what was it going to do for you? You were down 17-12, and you still needed another touchdown. And even if you kicked, I don't mind kicking the field goal if it's all right, if we get another field goal, we can win the game, and we only need 2 field goals. I find a team sometimes don't admit that sometimes. And listen, we got 6 minutes. Let's just get 2 field goals. Not there, bro. You know what I mean? And now 1 play later, Detroit just pick up a first down. And they're on the Minnesota 45. This game is slipping away from the Vikings, bro. This is a poorly coached game from O'Connell.
Yeah, you'll get a 30 pack here. They're gonna get the 30 or more here, Detroit. They're gonna score, and they'll probably get one more too to get in the fourth quarter. Going for the 3, I don't mind. Okay, you want to take 3. I guess on the heels of them kicking or going for it on 4th down twice inside the 5, though. What is the thinking, Gabe? We get 3, we hold them, we come down, we score a touchdown, and win.
You're on their 35-yard line, bro. You're down 8. It's time. You got to pick up the first down and keep the drive going.
We'll be right back. It's time for a Sports Grid 2-minute drill.
Time now to play a little buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs, George, will win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Are you buying or selling?
They do seem to be hitting their stride. All right, they get now, 3.5 weeks off here, get everybody healthy. Mahomes, the ankle, Kelsey gets the rest. Chris Jones, who missed that game on Christmas, now he gets the rest of it. He's an extremely important part of that defense. So they're looking good. They're covering spreads now, something they weren't doing. Now they're actually winning legitimate games. That being said, that offensive line is still bad. All right, and I think there'll be teams that take advantage of that. No, I'm selling. I'm selling here.
I don't even care if I believe this or not. I'm selling. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see the Chiefs win again. This has not been a fun year watching them. They've gotten lucky. They've gotten some calls. No, please no. Jamar Chase will win the receiving triple crown this season. Yards, receptions, and touchdowns. George, you going to buy or sell this?
I'm going to sell this. I'm going to say, listen, he's great. He's going to have a lot of great numbers here, but I'm going to say no, he won't get the receiver crown. Maybe 2 out of 3. He'll just miss. He'll do a little Aaron Judge. Won't get the average.
All right, I'll play the buy. I'll play the buy card just to play something different in the end, and he was my best player in fantasy this year, so I'll say buy there. I'm going to skip ahead, Sam, to the last one, the running back here. Bucky Irving, who's been fantastic for Tampa Bay, will be a top 8 running back in drafts next season. Is this buy or sell?
Assuming everybody comes back, Godwin, Evans, Mayfield, I see no reason why they wouldn't. I'm going to buy this, Craig. I'm going to buy. I think Bucky Irving is going to be that guy. It's a heavy passing offense, lots of touchdowns. Buy.
Fantasy Sports Today, your weekend source for year-round fantasy insights. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
In-game live game day continues. I am Gabriel Morency. In-game total currently 41.5. I don't know if we can get to 31.5, and it's 41.5 right now. The Detroit Lions, as the Lions are chipping away, there's been nothing super impressive about either team in this football game. I guess you can argue their defenses played well. It should be noted Terrion Arnold has left the football game with what appeared to be a pretty serious injury. I can't help but think back just to the history of the Vikings. I told you before the game started. I said, I'm taking the Vikings, but I don't know why. They never win a big game. They always they not only lose big games, they always get blown out. You know what I mean? It's not like they always get blown out. Now they nearly just had an interception, but they screwed it up. God, that was close. And it would have been maybe a touchdown as well. All right, we got George Kurtz coming up in a minute. Sean, before we get you out of here, you like Philadelphia in the blowout. Washington and Tampa is the game next Sunday that we're going to be on. Sunday Night Football will be live, guys. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Washington Commanders. Commanders are getting 3 in Washington. The total's 50.5. This game, there should be points, but I'd like to be points in this football game as well tonight.
No, definitely points in this one. Sign me up for the over. I probably like Tampa too as well. It's a good team, a nice little team to cheer for down there, but over for sure.
And finally, in closing, college football playoffs this week. Who are you taking? Penn State, Notre Dame, and Penn State, Notre Dame, and of course Texas and OSU.
I got under Penn State already. Grabbed that at 47, and the Ohio State game I haven't moved on yet, but I'm probably going to take Ohio State. The problem with that is that you got one team that's off a blowout win, the other team was off like a dogfight kind of game. So I think the line's. I don't like where the line is. It would have been better, because you got two opposite things. You got a close game, overtime, and the other one is a wild blowout. So the line's a little inflated. I would have liked that early 4, but I do lean Ohio State. I think them and Notre Dame will be a nice championship game, but not high on Penn State. But they do have a defense, so under my number 1 play, and then Buckeyes number 2.
Sean, always a pleasure. Happy New Year. Where can people find you online? Oh, wait, we got a touchdown. Hold on, we got a touchdown, Ed. Was it Gibbs again? Wow. The Jahmyr Gibbs show. Man, he's explosive. Jahmyr Gibbs, touchdown, Detroit Lions, and it's almost all over but the crying for the Minnesota Vikings, although maybe, just maybe, I can cry home some in-game overs here in this football game now. Still 13:06 left, 23-9 extra point pending.
Well, they need him. They need a lot of that with Monty out. So it's a good sign for Detroit that he's putting up good stuff here, catching the ball and running in. He's good, Gibbs. He's got 3 tutties.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He scores not just like from the goal line and stuff. Like, this kid just pops him from the 20, from the 15, from all over the football field. Sean, always a pleasure. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, go Twitter at Mr. Sean Higgs. You can find me on Winners and Winers. Go check me out there. Do daily video every morning, every day, 12 noon. Check it out. Free picks all the time. You know, talking sports. I'll be there. Gabe, happy New Year to you. Good to see you. George in the back. Greg, take care, everybody. Thanks for having me.
All right, there's Sean Higgs with us. In-game total has popped up to 40. I'm surprised about this. 46.5 right now suddenly. 46.5. 24-9. We got 13 minutes left. Are there going to be points? And I was really hoping, Kurt said, I wasn't sure that this was a sure shot over, bro. When you get a 56.5 in a must-win football game, in an not an elimination game, but the stakes are so high, it's no guarantee it's going to be a track meet. It's like almost like a Super Bowl. You get these high totals. But I didn't think that the Vikings would not have a touchdown at this point. And it ain't from a lack of getting close to the end zone. They've been inside the 20-yard line on 4 different drives tonight.
Listen, let's be honest here. Sam Darnold has spit the bit. All right, he looked terrible tonight. He's been absolutely awful here. He can't complete any passes down the field here. They're running the ball solidly here. But how many times did he miss Justin Jefferson on that one series there? 3, 4 times in the end zone? Maybe once he was covered here, but there were 2 times he was wide open. You have to hit those passes. He looks like he's feeling the pressure of the game. All right, it's the first time we've really seen that this season, where the pressure, the magnitude, whatever it might be, but he looks like he's feeling it tonight. He looks like the Sam Darnold of old. And not the Sam Darnold we saw for the first 16 games this season. It's one game. It happens. It's happening at the wrong time here. But, Gabe, I didn't even play superbly tonight. If he was playing average football, we'd have 46, 47 points right now, and that 56.5 would be looking, all right, good shot at it. This is all, in my mind, this is not Sam Darnold. He just looks terrible.
And, you believe, though, that the play calling, at some point, they had to realize, listen, he can't complete it. We got to run the ball. Cam Akers, especially, they didn't learn their lesson on the first drives. They ran the same plays to Jefferson 7 times out of the 8 plays or whatever. Then after Akers pops a 58-yard run, then they go back to trying to throw the football from the same spot. I totally agree. Darnold has been way off. I talked about it from the top, and he's never really settled down. He's made a couple of plays, but he's been rattled. But O'Connell needs to adjust to this and realize that his quarterback can't do what they're asking him to do.
Agreed. I think the problem is the game plan was to throw on this secondary. All right. And now Darnold not being able to do that has forced him to almost do a complete 180. All right. We've seen Jefferson be upset at Darnold a couple of times for him missing wide open targets here. And it's going to be tough to beat Detroit with, dinking and dunking, because I think that's how you try to get him into a groove, right? Little flares to the running back.
They need a big play down the field.
And they need bigger plays. And he cannot hit those right now. He just looks like, it's weird for a guy who's been great all season long. He just doesn't look like he has it tonight. Sort of like a starting pitcher in baseball just gets wrecked in the first inning. Just doesn't have it tonight. Just bad timing from Minnesota. But like I said, all the money I'm going to lose tonight, I am blaming on Sam Darnold.
And so I think we can almost safely say right now that, unless short of a miracle, that the Minnesota Vikings will be playing next Monday night in Los Angeles. The advanced number before the game tonight, George, was Minnesota -1.5. There's going to be a little bit of what people saw last year with the odds makers. So in the pick'em range, Minnesota -1, pick'em range, and we'll get George's thoughts on the other side. But there's two sides to this coin. Did Sam Darnold get it out of his system and he'll be calmer next week playing in 2 big games in a row? Or is it that, no, you can't trust Sam Darnold in a big football game?
There's a lot of bowl games. I love all of them. Even if you don't like bowl games, you got to love the Pop-Tarts Bowl and what it means for college football.
Who doesn't get excited for Pop-Tarts? But also, This is one of those where, Ben, I guess you could put your kids through college. Miami doesn't care about bowl games. They don't ever win those. Miami's a favorite. They usually go take the Iowa State Cyclones. Miami doesn't play any defense whatsoever, so you automatically just bang the total.
The Early Line. Only on Sports Grid.
How do you find some of this great talent that you've brought in, who are still early in their career, might not have a ton of tape on them yet?
I've been around this business, man, for almost 20 years. So a lot of these guys will tell you that I popped into a lot of gyms, sparred, or just worked on the side, or, kind of worked out, just watching. I've always loved this sport, man. I think it's the greatest. And we want to continue to put on the next up-and-coming superstars. We know we got them.
Only on Sports Grid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on Sports Grid.
In-game live game day continues, as does the stress. We're hoping for some late points in this football game. The Minnesota Vikings with the football. There's 11 and a half minutes left in the game. We've talked about Darnold being rattled, as we stated. The loser of this game, and it looks like it's going to be the Minnesota Vikings, are going to play the Los Angeles Rams on Monday night football. And as I've been saying, there was an advanced number, Minnesota minus 1.5. I think there'll be some anti-Darnold, sentiment after this. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a pick'em. I don't think the Rams are going to be favored. I think it'll be a pick'em. But after watching this and now asking the Vikings to fly out to the West Coast against a rested Rams team, that shows how good they are. They're nearly won with their backups today against the Seahawks. And there's Darnold just throwing it in the traffic again over and over, whether it's open or not. Man, they're it's hard to believe, George. I know it's easy to say. You get frustrated watching a team. You see them, this team sucks, and they're not going to win the next game that they play in. But legitimately, it's hard to buy into the Vikings next week in Los Angeles after watching this.
It comes down to, what do you believe? Do you believe it's just a bad game for Donald? And you said it last segment, right? That now he's going to get it out of his segment. He'll be fine next week, or is next week just a continuation of this? I'll tell you one thing. I'd be very worried next week if the Rams score a touchdown first. They go up 7-0, and now the pressure. Here we go. The pressure's on Donald. He's got to get that ball. We got to get that ball down the field, because this is just ugly. All right, this is just ugly. The offensive line's not really holding up for him, and when he throws the ball,
they just got sacked.
Not every pass is bad, Gabe, but they're just a little off. That pass to Hockenson was a little bit behind him, allowed the cornerback to go there and strip him. So he's just a little bit off here. I think right now, I'd bet LA. I hate to say that, but I've been down. I've still been waiting for this from Donald all season long. I told you multiple times that two teams I thought were frauds were Pittsburgh and Minnesota. And just when Minnesota convinced me they weren't frauds, they show up like this. All right. And it's really the offense. The defense is doing pretty much what I thought they would do. Give about 30 points to Detroit. It's about the best you can do here. But he just looks terrible. I don't know what he's going to figure out in 1 week against LA.
Man, and that was putrid. They move the ball a little bit. They go backwards. They get sacked. They're punting the ball. If Minnesota could have scored a touchdown on this drive, suddenly we would have had life. They weren't, they're not covering the spread or anything, but as far as the total, suddenly, this game is flowing. Something, it's going to pick up. Now Detroit can just run the ball, eat some more clock up here. It's not like we have any confidence. Even if Minnesota gets the ball on the 5-yard line, they can even do anything. Darnold's not getting better. I thought maybe here in somewhat garbage time on the way out, that he could step up, but this is turning into a prop. This is turning into a disaster for me. I had a lot of plays on this game, and I'm scrolling right now, and I'm going to have a lot of losers on my page here, George. No Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. No Jefferson touchdown. No Addison touchdown. Jameson Williams. No Jameson Williams touchdown. I got a Sam Darnold over passing yard prop. He's only at 157. It was 297. I got Jared Goff over 292.5. He's actually at 220 despite kind of a weird sloppy game. But he's not going to be in any need unless they got lucky on a big play here to throw the football. I bet Sam Darnold over 2.5 touchdown passes at plus 160. He's got 0. Jordan Addison, long reception over 24.5. Disaster. In-game over 43.5. This is just like a complete disaster. I did hit a bunch in the second half here. We took Jahmyr Gibbs over 4.5 receptions. He was at 2 or 3, whatever. At the half, we win that. We took Jalen Naylor over 1.5 receptions. We hit that. We gave you Aaron Jones over 4.5 receptions at the half. We hit that. So we're 3-0 so far in the second half with these props, but I don't have anywhere near as much as I did some of the other bets, George. This is an all-out disaster. I need to at least get to 44 here somehow. I don't see it happening. We needed Minnesota to score in that last drive. In-game total is 40.5 right now.
Yeah, we know. I don't think Detroit's going to be looking to put that ball in the air all that much now. They're going to run it out. I've already got my Gibbs props. There's nothing he can do to really help me there. So I would need. I mean, if I could pick out one thing here, a touchdown for St. Brown or Williams would be nice, but I don't know if that's going to happen. A long touchdown for Williams would be even better for me. This is a bet. Most of the bets you had there, especially in the first 5 or 6 you named, I have the same bets, and they're all not going to come in. Just not the game I expected. I said I blame Darnold because this should have been this game should be somewhere around 24-21, somewhere around there. And
right.
Instead, he's been terrible. So it is what it is. I mean, what are you going to do? I'd feel a little bit better, Gabe, if this was a game that didn't mean anything. The fact that this did mean so much, how do you come out and play like this? You know, it's just disappointing. I think I read it right. Just didn't. The results aren't correct here. And my God, this Gibbs is
If the Rams get off to a hot start, the Vikings are going to collapse.